Blog Talk Radio.
Well, hello and good morning. Welcome to the Divas That Care Network. My name is Candace Gish, and I am the host of this particular program. I'm just so excited that each and every one of you has tuned in for today's program. We're really excited. I'm going to be welcoming a brand new diva to our family. This woman is extraordinary. She is doing some fantastic things, and you're going to have a lot of fun because, you know what, I've really been inspired by the things that she's doing out there, and I know that you will be too. So, for any of you that have just tuned in for the very first time, our podcast has been running now for, oh my goodness, 9 years. And in our program, we have 11 hosts that have their own programs. So if you want to, please check them out at divasthatcare.com. So let's get started. Jasmine Duncan is my brand new diva to our program, and I'm just excited to welcome her on. So welcome, Jasmine.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm excited because you and I had the opportunity to chat before. I got to see a little bit about you, and we got to chat. And you have 3 divas, and I have 4 divas. So we had all this a few things in common here, and it isn't exciting, to raise girls and stuff. But could you spend a few moments here telling us who you are?
So, like I said, my name is Jasmine. I have 3 daughters. They are 12. One is 12 tomorrow, 14 and 16. They definitely keep me on my toes. And then I am also an event coordinator as well. So we reside here in the city of Edmonton, and they are a huge part of why I decided to go into events and the type of events that I do, because I really want to give them I really want to show them that women can do things in the world and change the world and be empowering, and they can strive for their dreams and achieve them like anybody else. But knowing that I have girls, I tend to gear more towards women.
I love it. That's how we started the Divas That Care, is that I wanted a platform to showcase women and have it for my daughters. And I always tell people that was my guilty thing. I really just wanted it for my kids, and then it grew from what it is to today. And you're doing the same thing. You're inspiring your daughters. And if anybody has a chance to know you, you are all about your girls. I love it because whenever I go onto your Facebook, I see these beautiful pictures, empowering pictures, strong pictures of you and your girls, and it's just really beautiful.
Yeah, I really want them to have a sense of self as well. And I feel like I realized that along the way there is a tell your children what to do and hopefully that they do it. But then there's also that great way of actually walking that walk where they see you walk that walk and then they're able to walk that walk in their own lives as well. So that's why I incorporate them in a lot of the things that I do.
Oh, wonderful. I love that. So tell us some of the things that you are doing. You are an event planner, but before we jump into that part of it, let's talk about some of the events that you did this summer that you were a part of, and I just love the pictures. But can you tell us about that?
So we did a amazing charity fashion show. We worked with the Yes Youth organization on this one in order to give proceeds, and a lot of the events that I do, I build them out from beginning to end. And my main goal is to create a platform for other small businesses, entrepreneurs, or inspired artists to showcase what they do and what they love. So for the fashion show, for example, we were at the Art Gallery of Alberta. And we tend to bring in local models, local entertainment, local artists, local vendors. So we try to keep everything very local designers, local brands, things along those lines. New artists that are just coming up and showcasing their fashion and things. We just really like to be able to give them a platform to just showcase what they love and what they do. So the fashion show was a huge hit, and we had a great time doing it.
And it looked like a lot of fun. You have a video about it up there, and I think that's really empowering. A lot of people might not realize what you need to do in order to get an event like this going. So how long has SP Events been running now?
So SP Events has been running for about a year and a half. So we haven't been running that long. We were in other events prior to this, but then with the economy and things along those lines, kind of became like a back burner type thing, pursued more of a career end. As you know, with kids, you have to be able to feed them. So then once the kids got older and the economy picked up again, then we jumped back in. So it's been running slowly for about a year and a half now.
Oh, and you've done so many things. It's not just fashion events that you're doing. You organized. It was a UFC event or something that you were a part of? As something like
Yes,
that.
I coordinate for Edmonton Combat League. So they actually also, I work with a partner that builds out his events from beginning to end. His name's Mukai Moromo, and he is or used to be a Muay Thai fighter as well. And so he also creates a platform for amateur fighters in the city, Muay Thai fighters and MMA fighters to showcase and do what they love as well. So we got entangled and tied in. So now I coordinate his events or day of coordinating for him on his events. And like I said, we just bring local fighters from all over Canada or all over Alberta, and we showcase a venue and a place and an audience for them to come and fight and do what they love. And then that just adds to their portfolio on top of it. Yeah, we also do conferences, summits, female summits, empowerment summits. We do parenting events. So we do a lot of social engagement.
And I think that's where it's neat. And a lot of people are like, well, how does a person become an event planner? And with your outgoing personality, I can see how you did it. But for anybody that's looking at doing something like this, how did you get involved and decide to do this?
Oh, my goodness. So I started dancing at a very young age. So I did African and Caribbean dancing from the time I was 7 to about 24. And I realized that I loved being on stage and in front of people and like the bright lights, but then I also loved all the craziness that was happening behind the stage and behind the scenes. So when I started dancing with a group called Movements, the Afro-Caribbean Dance Ensemble here in Edmonton, they were a nonprofit for 21 years in the city. And so I kind of jumped on the back end of things. So I would work in the office. I would help with coordinating on the day of, costumes, anything that's needed, and kind of worked as a personal assistant for Charlene Thomas. And that kind of like gave me the itch of, oh my gosh, I can actually like create these things, be a part of it, and then see it through from beginning to end. And that's kind of where it all started.
Well, and it's a lot of work. You know, it's not something that you can get done in a day. It takes months and months of planning, correct?
Oh, it definitely does. It takes months, sometimes years of planning. Definitely. Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
then obviously I went to school. I went to WPIC, which was in Ontario. So I went to school for event planning, and then I did weddings for many years, and then decided that weddings wasn't really the way I wanted to go. I really wanted to make a difference and add more value. Weddings are amazing, and of course it's a great day, but it's like once you do one, you're then out of a job until you find another one. So it's like car sales, house sales, whatever it is. So I really wanted to be able to create platforms that add value to other small businesses, entrepreneurs, and things along those lines. That's kind of how this whole thing started.
Well, that's great. And as I said, I love seeing the social media aspect of how you've done it. So the marketing part of it, you've done very well and showcasing all the things that you're doing. One of the things I liked, I know we're going to dive into some of the other events that you're doing right now, but I love that Kara West. I love those photos of you. I love how you were very engaging and powerful. Tell us about that because I know what it's like as we're getting older and we're mothers. How did you get into that and just be inspiring and to showcase yourself in such a positive light? I know that you've inspired so many people because of that.
Well, Carrie West is something that's always been a part of my life. Like my family, my background is from Trinidad and Tobago. And so soca music comes from Trinidad, and it's just such a vibrant, loving culture. So I probably started participating in Carrie West when I was about 7 years old. And as it's grown, I've kind of grown with it, and then I've introduced my kids to it. And it's funny because having young girls when they were younger and they were in the parade. So there's two aspects of Carrie West. You could be in the parade and you can actually be in full costume, which you saw with the feathers and the bikinis and the bedazzle, or you can do like a t-shirt band where maybe you might not be comfortable being in such small clothing and feathers and you just want to participate. So you're able to be in a t-shirt, jeans, shorts, whatever it is. So every level of comfort is welcome. And so when my girls were younger and they wanted to play, we would always play in the t-shirt band because I was very aware that they're very young and they wouldn't really understand the whole cultural aspect behind Carrie West. And I didn't want to think, oh, we just, dance naked down the street of Jasper and have fun. So now that they're older, this was actually the first year that I played in costume with them. Normally we would play a t-shirt band. The little ones would do costumes. I would do a t-shirt. But this was the first year, and it was a lot of fun. It was very empowering, and it's great to have the city of Edmonton come together around such a great culture, especially in 2019. And it's amazing how the city of Edmonton embraces our culture and lets us have like a weekend to showcase what we love and how much we adore our culture and our food and the taste and the sounds and the sights. So it's always a great time. All I want to say is that I wish the parade route was a little bit longer, but other than that, it was amazing.
And I love it too. You know, Edmonton has always been a very diverse city, and they do a lot of things, and it's always wonderful to do that and to see that because, you know, that's what we want. We want more and more people to be a part of that experience.
Yeah, and I think it's very hard as a mom to be able to showcase yourself as like being sexy because as moms, it's like it's a little bit terrifying to say, "Oh, well, I'm a sexy mom." Some people might take that bad, but I think it's okay to show that you can be like sexy and confident and still be a mom.
Yes.
Yeah, in a respectful way. Yeah.
I think a lot of people are scared about that. So that's why I was saying, what an inspiration because, you know, you're doing it in a very classy way, in a very inspiring way, so that people know, you know what, it's okay. You know, we're comfortable with who we are and what we look like and our bodies and it just gives that positive body image, which I think is really important.
I think so as well. And I think it's important that like to do things like this with your children so then when they grow up and they go out there they can have a memory of this is how my mom conducted herself in these type of situations. So it's okay to have fun, but how do you conduct yourself while you're having fun?
Exactly. Well, one of the things I'm going to kind of dive off a little bit to the side here is because you have strong young girls, how do you talk to them? How do you inspire them? You know, the Divas That Care, we talk a lot with young divas, with young girls that are doing things around the world to make the world a better place. How do you inspire your daughters to do that in the world?
I think the biggest thing for me, what I've learned over the past couple of years is I have to be able to step back and kind of let them be who they are. So then I can get a sense of who they are and who they're going into being. And then I'm able to help them navigate the things that they want to pursue. So I guess I kind of think of myself as like the bowling rails on a bowling alley. So like you have the whole aisle to play with, but I'm here just to make sure you don't fall in the gutters. So in my home, I'm very big on audibles, reading. We do affirmations every single morning before they go to school. We talk a lot about mindsets, and we're in a place right now where they're old enough and they have the foundation to make some great decisions, but it's just kind of teaching them how to follow a thought all the way through. So if this is the action I'm choosing, what is going to be the end result that comes from the action that I choose? And is it worth it? So is this action worth the end result that comes with it? So I think for myself, it's just constant, every single day reminder of it's okay to stand in your truth, but please always remember how every action has a reaction, and do you want the reaction that comes from the action that you're putting out? That's where we are right now. Yeah.
Well, it's wonderful because I think that, you know, more of us need to do that. You know, I definitely I work a lot with my girls on that, but maybe not all the time. I love the idea that you sit first thing in the morning and doing that, and it really sets the tone for what that day is going to be.
Yeah. And it's funny because they always rush because whoever says their affirmations first, I say, you know, thank you, and then their name. So thank you, CRR. Thank you, Nisa. So they always rush to see who can say it first because they want to hear my thank you.
That's fantastic. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's talk about your cool event that you're doing in the Edmonton area. It's called Wine Wednesday. I love this. So tell us why you named it that and what exactly it's all about.
So we partnered with the Foundry Room with Ava. She is an absolutely phenomenal single mom, widowed mom of 4. And we just happened to chat one night in the event and realized that a lot of our ideas and thoughts on parenting aligned. So we thought, okay, how do we create a space for moms to come out and be able to whine about being a parent? But then also we call it wine, Win Wednesdays. So you get to whine about being a mom with a glass of wine, and then at the end, we do masterminding with other moms in small groups in order to help you overcome the things that you are whining about. So how do you get a vision from another mom who might be going through the same thing you're going through, but maybe she's just looking at the situation a little bit differently? So our goal is basically once a month, get together, 2 hours. We bring in local speakers. Our last speaker was Rosalind Fung. She's also an entrepreneur mom in the city, and she is phenomenal. And it's basically just being able to come out and say, you know what, like this week, like the laundry got too much, the kids weren't listening, I just felt like it was hard, I don't know if I'm doing this right. And to have another mom next to you that says, I understand, but guess what? I did this week, or I read, or I took 10 minutes for myself, and this is how I got through the week, right? So it's just creating a tribe and a community of moms to get together to learn how to get through the tough times with kids, or even share the best time with your kids, but also be able to walk away with systems in place or like a change mindset in order to accomplish and grow with your children.
Excellent. And how often do you hold these events?
We hold them once a month. So normally the last Wednesday of every month.
Oh, excellent. So do you do any other types of events on a regular basis then in Edmonton?
We do, not monthly like this one. Like we do about three fashion shows a year. Again, I work with Edmonton Combat League. We do about 6 to 8 fights a year. We do the entrepreneur summits or the conferences. We do about 3 or 4 of those a year as well. And then I also get hired out to do smaller scaled events like business launches, team building summits and things along those lines for corporate businesses or small businesses. But our main ones that we focus on throughout the year that are on an ongoing basis would be the conferences, the fashion shows, Edmonton Combat League, and then the Wine Wednesdays.
Well, you sound like you're an extremely busy woman.
Yeah, and that doesn't even include the children or the house. So.
Okay, so question. How can our listeners get a hold of you if they're looking at either going to one of your events or hiring you to help them with an event?
The best way would be to either send me an email, and then, of course, on our SP Events page on Instagram and on Facebook, we post all of our events. Our events are always on Facebook. We always have an Eventbrite or a Facebook page. We're on Eventbrite. So any one of those platforms would be the best way to get a hold of me in regards to what's coming up or what's happening. Or if you need someone to help you plan. We've had people reach out who just need help promoting because they're great at creating the platform themselves, but they just don't know how to promote the event, or somebody who just needs like a skeleton idea of how to put an event together because they have the knowledge to actually push through and make it done themselves. So there's a lot of ways that we can help somebody create the vision that they're looking at.
Oh, perfect. Well, we do have listeners all around the world now with the Divas That Care. So this is fantastic. Can these listeners, can they get a hold of you if they're not in the Edmonton area? Can you do stuff with them on Zoom and other, like on the phone?
Yeah, of course. For sure. We can only do so much. In regards to the planning phase, we can definitely help in regards to that. But obviously being there on day of coordinating, that's not something we could do if you're not in the city of Edmonton. But no, I'm always open to questions, helping people collaborate. And like I said, for myself, it's more about the creating of the connections. If I'm able to help somebody else add value, please send me any questions you have or anything along those lines.
Fantastic. So what is next on your plate? What is the next major event that you're going to be hosting?
Our next major event is we have Wine Wednesdays on September 25th, and then we have our Edmonton Combat League Muay Thai fights, amateur fights, on October 19th. And then we have our charity fashion show, which will be held at West Edmonton Mall on October 26th. We also have we're doing a parenting panel coming up November 2nd. That'll be held at the Foundry Room. So we're bringing in entrepreneur moms, we're bringing in corporate moms, and it's just basically how do you get through building businesses, being corporate, and still being a relatively there, like a mom that's there and still connected while still trying to grow a business or working 9 to 5. And then we have Hey Mama happening at the end of November as well, which is another mom conference where we're bringing in 4 to 5 different workshops where you can bring your kids to this one. We're doing meal planning, meal prep, teaching your kids how to meal prep. and it's just going to be a great day of like moms learning with their kids.
Oh, it sounds like a lot of fun, and it sounds like you're extremely busy with that. So we'll make sure that we post some of these events on all of our social media pages so that our tribe here can get a hold of you, especially if you're in the Edmonton area. I think this is really a really fun event that you can attend, especially for our moms out there that are always looking for a little bit extra to do. Well, thank you. That is amazing. Well, I've got another question for you, Jasmine. What types of tips, what types of tools can you leave our listeners today, something that can inspire them to either with their personal life or with their business life?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. I have so many. I would say in business, for myself, being an entrepreneur and a mom, I think the biggest thing is just to stay focused on your vision. So write it down, know it, put it on a calendar, and every day do small steps in order to achieve your goal. And as a mom, I would say the biggest thing for myself right now and the biggest tip I can get is be very active in your kids' lives in regards to their friends, in regards to social media, in regards to just communicating and opening that line of communication so you can be a first point of contact when they are going through things. They know they can come to you. So I think it's just very important as moms to be very active in our kids' lives.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. That's beautiful.
No, thank you. I'm excited. Thank you for having me.
Well, it was my pleasure having you, and I hope that you come back on the program again and talk about things that are happening in your area so that we can tell all of our listeners.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Candace.
And you know what? Thank you to all of our amazing listeners that are tuned in today. We appreciate each and every one of you. It's because of you. We've been doing this for 9 years. I'm going to be posting stuff about Jasmine and SP events on all of our social media so that you can check it out. And also make sure that you go to the divasthatcare.com and check out all of our other podcasts, all of our recorded shows from the last 9 years. And you know what? You're going to be inspired by these amazing women that are doing extraordinary things around the world. It's all about, as Jasmine was saying earlier, is providing platform for women to showcase what they're doing and to be a part of it. So thank you again, Jasmine. Thank you to all of our listeners. I hope that you do something kind from somebody out there today. Bye-bye for now.